Breaking news today.
Please subscribe and then check notification box to get all breaking news alert.
Judge wipes silly grin off face of woman who concocted fake hate crime about Trump supporter assaulting her. There has been an influx of fake hate crimes being reported since Trump announced he would run for office, and the ridiculousness only gets worse daily. Yet, real hate crimes are covered up daily because it doesn't fit the narrative that the left wants to be promoted. What people are missing is that those perpetrating the fake attacks are being caught and exposed. There is more happening behind the scenes in our country that is heading us for the path of repair than what we are shown on MSM or social media. Don't be fooled by what you are being fed, instead look to the truth being hidden. According to Louder with Crowder, there's two types of hate crimes. The ones with leftist victims, and actual hate crimes. An example of which being the kidnap and torture of a handicapped man simply because he's white. Pummeling your own face meat out of self-loathing? Sure, it's some kind of thing, but not a hate crime. Gay YouTube star beats himself up. Calls it a hate crime. Seek mental help. Turns out hating yourself doesn't make a hate crime. 'Twas a lesson not yet learned by the hoofed mammal pictured above when she sauntered down to the police station to deem herself a victim of hate. A 21-year-old Ann Arbor woman pleaded guilty as charged to one count of false report of a misdemeanor in 15th District Court. Hallie Bass admitted in court that she fabricated a story about a strange man scratching her face in downtown Ann Arbor. I was suffering from depression at the time, Bass told Judge Elizabeth Pollard Hines. I made a superficial scratch on my face. It was visible and I was embarrassed about what I'd done. So I made up a story and told a friend that a stranger had done it while I was walking. I was encouraged to go to the police. I made the mistake of doing that. Pro tip for hate crime hoaxers: wasting police resources with one's lies and whinge are not the makings of a good idea. Sort of like how clawing your own face out of frustration isn't a good idea. But it gets even worse. Here's her explanation. At the time, Bass claimed her attack was part of the surge in hate crimes following the election of Donald Trump a week earlier. She told police she was targeted for wearing a solidarity pin connected to immigrants affected by Britain's Brexit vote. Bass admitted to scratching her own face with the pin after becoming upset during a women's literature class at the University of Michigan. Bass heard of other incidents on campus, including the incident of a woman wearing a hijab who said a man threatened to light her on fire if she didn't take it off. Ann Arbor police later determined that incident was a hoax too, though. Hate crimes and hoaxes go together like unsightly ladies and feminism. Speaking of which, on account of her being jailed up, it appears Hallie won't be able to participate in #A Without a Woman. In light of this, I propose leftists participate in #A Without a Hoax instead. Out of solidarity with the scal and loads of other liberals, of course. Let's be real for a second though. You've likely noticed heaps of leftist tears since the election, accusations of hate crimes, protests, mental breakdowns. This stuff has been a normal part of leftism for a while now, granted, but it's reached a fever pitch in recent months. Liberal victims have been plastered all over the media despite their stories turning out to be fake. C-Man claims mom died in Iraq because of Trump ban. He lied. Meanwhile, actual victims of politically charged violence seem to all have one thing in common: being a non-leftist. And the ones curb-stomping faces and lighting things on fire? Yep, you guessed it. Like this chick, they're snot-gobbling social justice ninnies. So much tolerance.
By now, you've no doubt seen what's happened in Chicago, which is horrible. I wasn't planning on doing a video today. We're actually prepping for The Daily Show that launches here on YouTube January 9th on Monday. Gary Sinise is going to be our first guest, so thanks to him. But felt the need to talk about this, the hate crime, to use the left's term, that was committed in Chicago. Here's a brief clip, or overlay, and we can't use too much of that because YouTube or Twitter will take it down. We wouldn't want any fake news there, mind you. This is one of those things that's really important, so stay with me here. Here was the ensuing media reaction to what really should have been a unifying moment. This is something where everybody should be on board, or at least similarly on board when it comes to their reactions, but this is how the media reacted.
We cannot callously go about classifying things as a hate crime.
You know, although they are adults, they're 18. Kids make stupid decisions. I shouldn't call them kids, they're legally adults, but they're young adults and they make stupid decisions.
I think some of it is just stupidity. You know, people just ranting about something that they think might make a headline.
I don't think it's evil. I don't think it's evil. I think these are young people, and I think they have bad home training.
For those who haven't watched the real video, a couple of black people kidnapped a special needs white guy, beat him so badly that he was basically scalped. You could see his scalp, yelled "F white people, f white people," insinuated, actually outright said that it was because he voted Donald Trump. I have no idea if this guy did vote Donald Trump, and made the special needs man drink toilet water. Again, f white people, f white people. But the jury is still out. We don't really know. This is proof positive, 100%, that the media doesn't care about actual racism at all. When you see it right in your face, blatantly, well, we don't know. They're more concerned with non-racism. They only care about black people when it suits their political agenda. They only care about using them as a political tool. They're less offended by this than they will be with a front page story running on somebody who accidentally used the term colored people instead of people of color. And you have the United States right now. This is the Trump reaction. They're really scared because they see, well, you know what, here. I said this before. I said this about Black Lives Matter. I said the result. I hate to be that guy saying, but I talked about the result that would occur if you continued to vilify cops and white people this way. When they put out there this idea that cops in record numbers are simply killing black people because of a level of melanin in their skin for benign activities and no reason at all, what does that do? Well, it makes it okay to vilify cops. It makes it okay to dehumanize cops. And it makes it okay to treat them subhumanely. My point is that if you are not honest, if you are simply using a false narrative to try and generate clicks, you then allow somebody to aim their latest outrage cannon at whoever subject you deem to be suitable. So I don't know, kidnapping a special needs guy, beating him down to his scalp, making him drink toilet water while you yell "F white people, f white people," is that subhumane? I would say so, but that's me, Mr. Old-Fashioned. Here we are at a point where people are scared. Dallas PD shooting. People are terrified. And of course, like, well, this might be happening with Black Lives Matter. No. We see these kinds of hate crimes. We've seen several of these in Chicago. People are scared. That's why they're voting for Donald Trump. They're afraid of the political correctness. They're afraid of Black Lives Matter, who essentially, as you see, I know, by the way, the hashtag BLM kidnapping, these people aren't officially associated with Black Lives Matter. That was meant to be ironic, to point out the sentiment expressed by Black Lives Matter and the congruency with this kind of crime. But these are anecdotal examples, so Dallas PD, people feel that vibe, but it's anecdotal, so you can look to statistics. Record rise in attacks on police officers, despite the media telling you that that's not occurring. Record crime occurring in Chicago. And by the way, we're talking about the sharp spike in graphs that can be directly attributed. But of course, you have a bunch of media doing damage control, from mainstream networks to non-black white guy Sean King, who's hired as a Young Turks token black guy, to, of course, our favorite race baiter-in-chief, Tariq Nasheed, who said, "Notice how the misnamed hashtag BLM kidnapping suspects don't have any unions or organizations funding protecting them from prosecution." Come again, stupid? What? Okay. You believe that if white people kidnapped a black person, said, "Fuck black people, voted Hillary Clinton, fuck you, fuck black people," beat the black person down to within an inch of their scalp and made the mentally retarded black person drink toilet water, that they would have organizations lining up to fund the defense of a white guy? I think the guy who was kidnapped is more qualified to commentate than you, Tariq Nasheed. By the way, if you're more offended at the fact that I used a black-sounding voice or used the word mentally retarded instead of special needs, you're part of the problem. You are exactly part of the problem. Nothing that I said there was hateful. Nothing that I said there was wrong or designed to insult special needs people. I volunteer. My wife does. We work with them. The left has you so concerned. It's not about racism. It's not about caring. It's about virtue signaling. What? He said mentally retarded. Let me leave a YouTube comment so I think I'm making an impact on the world. Changes. he did a black voice. Let's act like that's racist right now, and let's pretend that we're outraged because we can show everyone how tolerant we are. How about you be more outraged instead of me using the word mentally retarded? That was by design, was a litmus test at the person who was beaten within an inch of their life, scalp, while people yelled out, fuck white people, fuck Donald Trump. Why is that not more outrageous to you? And here's something to that is a silver lining. I hope they find justice for these people. I know you're never supposed to hit a woman, so I would not hit the woman involved, but I hope they put her in an Orange is the New Black cell with someone who has been deprived of love and identifies as a woman. And I hope the reverse is true for the guy, except I hope he's always been a guy. I don't want a woman who identifies as a guy because he might be strong. I want them to be accosted in prison. I hope I've made that crystal clear for you. Here's the silver lining, the media right here. Here was a moment, kind of like 9/11. Everyone unified. Everyone came together, said, all right, let's put aside our squabbles. We really need to come together as Americans. Here's a moment where everyone watching this video, everyone watching media, by the way, at a time when mistrust of media is an all-time high. I'm not talking fake news on Facebook that Mark Zuckerberg has to walk in and curate. I'm talking ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, and MSNBC. You look at the statistics. People do not trust mainstream media. Here was a moment where people kidnapped a special needs. The only thing that could rally people in a more unifying way would be puppies. Because PETA, they don't get out of their bed for a special needs person. But if a puppy is involved, they're going to be protesting topless. But still, we're getting close. This is a moment where everyone in the United States watches this, sees a white person kidnapped by two black people, a special needs person, beaten, forced to drink toilet water while they yell, fuck white people, fuck white people. And oh my gosh, the reaction is the same. The media had a glowing opportunity here to at least partially redeem themselves by saying, all right, you know what, this is a gimme, okay? This isn't a black guy played knockout game and knock out an old white person. Is it a hate crime? Is it gang affiliation? This one, I mean, they're yelling out that it's because they hate white people and Donald Trump. This is a gimme. You know what? Let's go with this. Let's call it what it is. If all the media had to do here to redeem themselves was to report the facts and tell the truth. And instead, as you see, they buried themselves and nailed their own coffin. And I don't know about you, but I will be thrilled to warmly relieve myself on their grave and to fight back against the cesspool of filth and sadness that is mainstream media. That's why this show, Louder with Crowder, is going daily starting January 9th. Gary Sinise is our first guest. The rest of the guest list to come. We'll have the live stream free here on YouTube, 8 p.m. Eastern. All the live streams going forward are still free on Thursday right here on YouTube, 8 p.m. Eastern, but the show is daily. If you join the Mug Club, if you're a student, it ends up being less than $5.85 a month. Louderwithcrowder.com/Mug Club. We'll have a 7-day free trial starting Monday, January 9th. We're incredibly grateful. We appreciate your support. And we're at the point here where we're building out this studio. We're pretty sustainable, but we want to grow and bring in more names. Maybe even some people who you've seen and watched and loved on YouTube who could use some help being undergirded to fight back against the mainstream media right now. We already have Mark Levin, Michelle Malkin, Mark Stein, myself. So big names to come. So about $5 a month, you get this awesome, cool mug and access to Louder with Crowder Daily. We also have a contest going on. We'll be giving away 50 free Mug Club memberships. Just send your tweet to @SCrowder or @NotGayJared with the hashtag Crowder Dance Moves. And what you need to do is send in your best Louder with Crowder dance moves to one of our bumps. So it playing in the background, it can be Pogo, it can be Strange Animals. Send in your best dance moves and 50 people will get a free annual Mug Club membership and this beautiful hand-painted, hand-etched mug. And we'll have one lucky winner, one super winner who will get a free Mug Club membership, an entire merch package, a lock of Not Gay Jared's hair, and a private conference call with us, even though you don't really have to do that. And that winner will be picked on Monday, January 9th by our celebrity judge, Gary Sinise, with the best, most creative dance moves. Thank you guys so much, and I wish I were talking to you under better circumstances. But we appreciate everyone who, I think I had a stroke, everyone who's helped us fight back. Louderwithcrowder.com/Mug Club. See you Monday.
These moronic libtards are absolutely insane. And finally, the law sees that. You have to be pretty desperate to slash your own face to try and paint all Trump supporters as violent. There are very little to no cases of Trump supporters actually being aggressive or violent. Thank you for watching this video. What do you think about this? Share this on Facebook and Twitter along with your comments.